It's been 25 years since the death of Erie's iconic six-term mayor Lou Tullio, who served in the city's top job for an unprecedented 24 years. The Erie Times-News talked with both current and former city employees, many who worked directly with Tullio at City Hall, about his legacy and accomplishments.
You can't help but think of the longevity. He obviously was here for almost an entire generation, and so the community remembers him very well because of his time here, and that's probably the number one thing.
Well, for me, I immediately think it was a great opportunity to be under a man who really was part of a Erie institution at a time when Erie was in a great transition. So I think he was the right guy at the right time with the right attitude.
Super organized guy. Never, every stone was not left unturned.
It's just this strong personality and these things that he did that were over and above. He never stayed aloof. He always was down with the people.
Sure.
He was a people person.
He started the entertainment district in downtown by getting the arena built, and that really changed long term how we've developed our downtown. Things like that. I mean, obviously he has some lasting impact in how people remember politics in this town, so that's a big part of it as well. So you can't spend 24 years doing something without leaving a lasting legacy amongst your constituents and the community in which you've served.
Well, I think he did a lot for the elderly, and he was very fortunate in that he became an all-America city, and at that time there were a lot of federal funds available, and that made a big difference in what you were able to do. And there was all the housing that was done, all the centers that were built, and all those things are. I think that's going to be one of his big legacies. I think it was one of his legacies, that he was able to help people who needed help.
Having those contacts, Republican and Democrat Party, working on your behalf to get you federal funds, state funds, readily available, I mean, that's what makes the city tick and makes it move forward.
Well, the job, as every public job, has challenges, and it has daily challenges. So to do it for 20 plus years, shows a lot of dedication, a lot of love for the community. The ability to work with people long term and to want to help your community and help the people in it. So I have firsthand experience with that in the much shorter time that I've been here, and I definitely see the challenges, and he was able to continue to stay in office and run the community despite all of that. So I think it says a lot for the kind of person that he was.
I'll tell you one thing he told me once. He said, people will forget what you say to them, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. When you dealt with Lou Tullio, when you walked away, even though you came in angry and you walked away, you were smiling because he took time to talk to you, to listen to you, gave you some advice and so forth. He said, I don't agree with him, but he has his points, But that was his biggest strength, the fact that he could convey to people, work with folks. We used to leave City Hall to go to a meeting at Avalon or something half hour early because he stopped and talked to everybody on the way.
He just was a good communicator and made sure that all the bases were touched.
He was effective only because he was a people person. He would stop and shake hands with everybody on State Street. If he was just walking across the street, he would shake hands with everybody he met on the way.
I think he always thought that Erie could be a greater community than he found it. That was his purpose, trying to make it better than he found it. And when he came in office, I think fortune comes to those who I think are really ready. That was the time we had federal money coming in. We had problems, of course, with issues in the community and so forth, but you had resources that we don't have now. That's gone. So he took full advantage of the resources he had the contacts he made, the people that he got to know. He was basically a person who utilized every resource.
Of all, politics has changed significantly, I think. You know, in those days, there was a lot of retail, on-the-ground politics. The wards, the neighborhoods made a lot of difference in the election process or in how the political governance was structured. You know, the job of running a city has changed drastically. Back in those years, there was a lot of federal and state monies that used to come into the community to help to even to run the day-to-day operations and to keep some of the capital needs and things like that going. And those things have changed. Those dollars have gone away. So the challenge is much different. We have to make this operation work on more of the local revenue, which of course translates into real estate taxes. So, you know, you see much smaller government entities. You see us doing a lot more with a lot less, and so that's probably been one of the most noticeable differences is the size of municipal governments and how they're run and the efficiency levels and things like that have changed over time.
I think a couple things. Being a first generation like Italian, I think being well educated, having gone to prep at the Holy Cross and Boston University, having been a veteran of World War II, a coach, having been basically a administrator in school districts, so he came to the office with a lot of personal skills. And I think that gave him a vision and a contact base to work from.